when shadows fall, I'll be beside you whenever you call. When worries weigh heavy and fears take flight, I'll be your strength, guiding through the night. And when the days are dark and heavy on your heart, I'll be the voice to guide you through the dim. Strong walls may crumble, but within you've got the spark. Just turn the key, let light dissolve the grim. Did you think you were alone in your feelings? Strike a match, let your inner strength be seen. Welcome to all things serious. In the depths of your despair, where demons roam, I'll be the hand to hold. You're never alone. When storms rage fierce and winds blow strong, I'll be the shelter in your soul where you belong. Welcome to all things serious.
Well, I'm early. I said 8:30, but what I did went quicker than I expected. So I'm back. So BB Beyond Amazing left a comment on my previous video, and she said, 4 things most important to me is respect, honesty, communication, and love. Now, my question for you is pertaining to the word love. Wouldn't the word love mean respect, honesty, loyalty, trust, communication? Wouldn't that be considered love? And it doesn't have to like love as in, partnership, but it can be friendship too, because you can love your friend. Wouldn't that be considered love? All those combined into love? Just a question, because I always thought when you told somebody you love them, that means you respect them, you care about them, you're honest with them, you're loyal to them. Isn't that love? That's my definition of love. I could be wrong. But if I'm wrong, let me know. I Alma, how you doing? Ro, how you doing? Okay, so my question is if those things are a form of love, but you say love doesn't have to include those things, then what would it include? Just a question. G2K, how you doing? I could do that, Alma. I could call you on Saturday, Alma. Yes, I can. I hope you're doing well, my friend. So, Ro, I'm there's a reason why I'm asking, because please explain to me. Oh, damn. I'm sorry, G2K. Please explain to me the many forms of love. I see you, BB. Beyond amazing. I see you. How you doing? I get, you get some people say, I'm in love with you. Okay. Yeah, there's one way love. Yes. There's one way love. I agree, Alma. There is one way. Yep. You can love somebody and they not love you back. It's like you call somebody a friend, but they don't consider you a friend. Or you could be in love with the person you're with, but the person you're with don't see it that way. They just see you as a free ride. You know, that there's obsessive. Okay, I see where you're going. I get it now. The obsessive love. Like somebody who's stalking you, in my opinion, allegedly. Okay, Pac-Man. So, yeah, where you love somebody and they don't love you back. Yeah, there's those. I agree. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kid Kitty. So, okay. See, I the reason why for this conversation is to get an understanding. Okay. All right. I'm loving this conversation. I really am. I don't love my friends like I love my woman. I'm just saying that, you know, yeah, that would be awkward if you loved your friend like you love your wife or your partner, that would be weird. Yep. 40-year relationship. You can't have one-sided love. It has to be both ways. Yep. That would be awkward if you loved your friend the same way you love your woman. That would be weird. Yeah. But what I mean by love, in generality, I was actually meaning it in general. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us will just tell each other, I love you, man, and not really mean it, you know, or you know, a lot of us will just say, I love you and have no, like, what's the word I'm looking for? And not mean it. You know what I'm saying? No intentions behind it. Like, you know, you don't like when you tell somebody you love them, that means you care about them, you look out for them. When they're in a tough rut and they need somebody to talk to, you'll be there for them to listen. That's what I mean by love. I don't mean like, that's what I mean by love. If anybody understands that, like when you call somebody your best friend, you basically love your best friend. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, you know, What's up, Shift Happens? How you doing? But I could be wrong. I could be wrong on this. I'm gonna drop the link and see if any women want to come up on panel. Copy, paste, or anybody else that wants to come up on panel. I dropped the link. I'm doing all right, Shift. I'm doing all right. So, man, the Panda, how you doing? Kentucky Lee, how you doing? I agree, April T. Actions speak louder than words. I totally agree. What's up, Ro? How you doing? You're muted. You got no sound coming from your microphone. It's connected, just not working. What's love got to do with it? What's love got to do? All right, I'll quit singing. Brody Gal, how you
There
doing?
it is.
There we go, Ro.
Yeah, sorry, I had it on the wrong microphone. I was trying to use the camera, and I disabled it a long time ago. So, my bad.
You're good.
Had to disable the camera. Well, I've been working on the system for a while. But no, what I was trying to say earlier is that I get what you're saying as far as people not having any meaning behind the word as much as they used to. However, there is something else. Like, I'll give you an example. I love my sister, but I don't respect her opinions. I don't respect her life choices. Basically, just about everything you associated with love, I don't feel for her. Right?
Okay.
So, but she's my sister. I love her. I'd still stand between her and a bullet because not only is she a hobbit, she's actually related to me. Right? So,
yep.
That for you, I love you because I really love what you do here. I respect you because you understand what it means to be a Neanderthal in a hobbit world. A lot of things, but I wouldn't want you to build the rocket I was going to take to the moon, right? So, like, different aspects of people, you can love them because people think love is one encompassing word. I mean, that's how the English language has deemed it. But if you go back to ancient languages, like original Jewish for Hebrew, there are many, many types of love. The agape, which is like what you feel for mankind, and then the love you feel for your children is different. So we have encompassed one all-meaning word to mean so many different things that, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, if you look at, like, some famous artist or something, she's like, I love you guys, thank you, and she doesn't even know those people. There's no way she can love them, right? She loves the fandom. She doesn't love the individuals. So, I mean, that's kind of what I was trying to get at earlier, is that it's not so much.
That is true. That is true. With your kids, it's unconditional love. Yes.
Right. Like, you can be mad at your kid for doing something stupid. You can hate somebody's actions, but still love the person. Right?
So Amanda Panda said, so you still care for her, your sister. You still care about your sister.
Yeah.
You do care about her.
And for lack of a better word, it's an obligatory love, meaning she's my sister. Of course I love her. Like I might hate what she does on certain things or whatever. I mean, just her professional alone. I hate lawyers, right? Like I hate the fact that we have more lawyers in America than they do on the rest of the planet combined. We sue everybody. Oh, you looked at me bad, I'm taking you to court, right? So like I don't like what she does. However, does that change the fact that I want to, visit her once in a while, talk to her on the phone, give her a hug when I see her? Wouldn't I be there by her bed if she was in the hospital? Wouldn't I, she automatically gets afforded all the things that other humans do, which is my protection if you deserve it. She automatically gets the things that a woman does because she's a she. And then she gets a little bit extra because if I have to choose between two people, the one I'm not related to isn't probably going to be my choice. So, there's multiple layers of love because, some people will be like, man, I love my barista. He really hooks me up with the caffeine fix, right? But let's face it, you're not necessarily going to go over to the dude's house and help him, retile his floors. Maybe that's what you're into. I'm not judging. Hey, people do different things. Whatever you want to do on a Saturday night, it's all up to you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of got that feeling like you felt it was misused recently to you, and it's you got to remember, Taylor Swift says I love all you people. She doesn't know. It's not like she's going to shed a tear if you get in a car accident on the way home if you don't know her, right? So it's a one all-encompassing word.
You got a point there. You do. Yeah.
It's almost like the word dude, right? Like if somebody does something stupid, you can be like, dude, But if they do something awesome, be like, dude, it's literally one of those words like aloha or, any of those that can have many, many different meanings depending on the context. So according to the context of the relationship or the sentence used, love can mean many different things.
Yep. Lady V, how you doing? Okay.
Enough caffeine fix. Yeah. Your caffeine dealer is almost as good as your crack dealer these days. I'm just saying. There's something there.
Shouldn't have said the C word. Second one.
Well, what do you have between your butt cheeks?
Nothing.
Ken doll, are you? Okay.
Yes.
No,
I got a bubble back there.
Yeah. Well, you use a different weight machine at the gym. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I was born with it. Nothing I could do.
Do you see what I mean, though? Like, a lot of people are, to the effect of, like, quite literally, I've been in this situation as a firefighter. People come up for an appreciation day. They used to put those on where they do like a barbecue or something. They invite all the firefighters and people that were there that you helped out at a time or two. They'd come up and they'd be like, thank you for doing this. And be like, hey, and I've even said it. I've been like, I love you guys. I wouldn't have done anything different. This is, just what I do. I didn't mention the fact that the only reason I did all that was because girls like firefighters. But then one of the young ladies in the family is like, oh, he loves me. And like, then she starts stalking me a little bit. Like that has happened. You can literally say it, meaning I love people, right? I like humans. I disapprove of a lot of their actions sometimes, but I still love other people. I'm not, I don't drive by somebody when they're, choking out on the side of the road. I'm going to stop and help, right? That's what it means to love your fellow man. Do what you can.
Yep.
But somebody can take it as, oh, he loves me. And then all of a sudden they get it and it's in love with you, not just I love you. And then it's the word you were looking for earlier was then it's an unrequited love. And that person that loves somebody in that way doesn't get it returned. And that becomes, a whole can of worms that you never wanted to open in the first place. So it is a word you got to be careful with.
Yes.
You know, especially if you're just dating someone and you say
Yeah.
it first, and
I
then they're
used
like,
to. I will tell you this. I will tell you this. And I'll be honest. In my younger days, it took me a long time to realize it. But in my younger days, I used to fall hard when I was in a relationship. I used to fall in love real quick. What I thought was love, right? Because of their personality, how they treated me at the time, and stuff like that. And then it would change, right? Like the mask would come off. And now, when I'm in a relationship and it's a serious relationship, I take my time. You know, I'm very careful. You know, so I'm expecting. I'm waiting for that mask to come off.
well, yeah. I mean, as a, did my mic mess up again? Did my mic hello?
So
There
you're good. You're good. We can hear you. So
the meter stopped working, but yeah, you're saying exactly one of the things. Like when you're younger, the younger you are. I mean, people don't like to admit it, and they think it's a bad thing to say, but the younger you are, kind of the stupider you are because you don't have as much life experience yet. So, as a young man, you tend to think if she, smooches me, that means she loves me, or whatever little stuff you get to do, that means this. It doesn't. Okay, there's. If you actually love somebody, it's not just if they're not there, you're upset, right? Because that's pretty common. Just people in your daily life, if they suddenly weren't around, you would be upset. So I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you're in love with them. But we don't have enough experience yet.
V. Thank you for being here, Lady V.
So we don't have enough experience yet, right? And then as you said, as you get older, you realize, okay, this is infatuation. This isn't love yet. This is lust. This isn't love yet. Whatever the situation may be. And then you do get to a point where you're like, I can see a part of the person being a part of my life, indefinitely. And it starts to become where your algorithm misses them when they're not there.
I will tell you this, Ro. I will tell you this. I have never lusted over any woman I was with. Never. It was it was the small things that they did. It wasn't about the looks or the bedroom interaction. It was about, cooking me breakfast in bed or, sending me text messages or writing me notes on my way to work in my lunch pail. Those things. But then when they stopped and the attitude changed in the relationship, right. You know what I'm saying? Or when I lost my job and things changed in the relationship, without communication. That's one thing. That's why I said, like, it's April T. That was my love language. Yes. Okay. I didn't expect to come home to a home cooked meal. No. Because I've been with many women that can't cook. Just saying. Just saying. And I know there's a lot of women out there that can cook. But my mom can cook. So I hold any woman I get with, their cooking standards to her.
Yeah, which is probably pretty hard to match because you learn that as the par for the course because you develop your love map in your first 5 years anyway. What you see as relationships is what you see as the norm of what you experience in the first 5 years of your life. It's not a romantic love yet. And that's actually one of the other things they teach you, semester 1 in psychology, is that when men and women look at those things differently, our love language tends to be the caretaking ability of your significant other, not the, what you call the bedroom activities. Because to be honest, it's not that hard, right, for men to get bedroom activity. Either one of us being over 6 foot tall can go to the bar and bring somebody home. We're not necessarily, we think we're looking for that when we're young, but that actually becomes like, oh, that's not even that's not a thing that's hard to do, right? What is hard to do is find somebody who will put you first once in a while, at least.
Yeah.
So it's the whole, like you said, even down to like dressing me, right? Because that is a caregiving thing that your mother probably did when you were young and all that kind of stuff. And for a lot of men, I'm not saying all of them, of course, but for a lot of men, what you're wearing doesn't matter. I don't want to get arrested for being nude in public. And I want a little bit of armor. Right?
I almost said I can make lasagna, salmon, tamales, spaghetti, meatloaf, etc., etc.
Right.
You're speaking Rose language with that spaghetti.
But that's the thing. Those things are more important than, booty or whatever you want to call it, because we can get that anywhere. We don't care about that so much in general. But like even dressing, like I don't want to care about what I'm wearing, but I do want to look nice. So if my woman is like, hey, you look better in this shirt, put this one on, you dumbass, quit you wearing the same shirt every day, put this one on, it looks better. Some guys are like, don't tell me how to dress, but whatever. But like for me, she cares about what I look like. She cares about how I'm perceived. She cares enough to give her opinion. And I must be a decent enough man because she can offer that opinion and not be worried about getting yelled at. So it boils down to the amount of caregiving you get from your significant other is more important than most anything else. And that's actual love, because the lust love, the in love, the puppy love, as was said earlier, this is, this mild infatuation sort of stuff. The hormones get going and all that kind of stuff. Men produce oxytocin, which is considered the cuddle hormone, oxytocin, when someone is caring for us, when they're cooking lasagna or tamales or spaghetti. Spaghetti's my weakness. And then all that kind of stuff. So like you take your shirt off, sure, that's going to temporarily make me distracted, and probably whatever we're arguing about, I'm going to forget about. So technically you win, but that's not a long-term thing. The long-term thing is, every time I have a problem, you're there for me, right? So, and on the other side of things, it's when men in general are kind of monsters a little bit. And like, if we are able to bring that monster to bear on your behalf, but never show it to you, that's one of the greatest things that I've always found that the significant others like are appreciative of. Going into it, I'm not going to be all that caregiving as far as that kind of stuff goes. I'm not a cook, right? Some men are. I'm not saying it's general, but like for me in particular, I'm not a good cook. I don't make art unless you count symmetricality and explosions. I really can't create anything artistic, right? So none of that's going to be there. But if somebody looks at you wrong and you tell me to, I'm going to eat them, right? So it's this back and forth. I give you what I can, and you give me what you can. That's it.
She's like, sorry, I'm taking.
When you hit half a century, pretty much everybody that's single is a bit crazy, and then everybody else is already taken. So, we give up after a while.
So, but
no, that's what I was trying to, me in typing. So that's kind of what I was saying is it's like you can love somebody and have almost none of those feelings for them. Because
I get what you're saying. That's why, because growing up, when I like with me, like, I care about everybody I come across. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, and you should wipe it off, by the way.
I didn't mean
Sorry.
it that way.
I know you didn't.
Oh my word.
Yeah, but it can't be row without something like that once in a while. But no, I get it.
Yeah.
Total stranger, doesn't matter. You have a certain amount of love for just another human, period.
Like yesterday, I was at the lake, and I was at Lake Eustis in the county I live in. And I came across a stranger, and I started talking to him. We had like a 40-minute conversation, just conversating. And he was from, telling me where he was from and what his life was like. You know what I'm saying? Because he was older. He was born in the 60s. So he grew up in the 70s and 80s. So we were exchanging eras and having a conversation. And what's crazy is we both, had similar mindsets, even though we were from different eras. So yes, Alma, all joking aside, the most important thing, you have to love yourself before loving anyone. That is so true. But, what I've wanted to do, and I'm waiting until this summer. This summer, my goal is I'm going to start doing pre-recorded videos. Interviewing people on the streets. Just walking up to people. I want to get a GoPro camera. You know what I'm saying? And just interview people on the streets. Walk up to them, have a conversation, talk about, mental health and things like that. Tuesday, I go to my very first NA meeting, and I don't have substance abuse problems, but I'm going to an NA meeting. Okay. All right, baby. Take care. So, and I'm going to set up interviews, and go from there. See what happens.
So let me ask you. Well, first of all, I recommend, and I'll buy you one and mail it to you. I don't care. You need a shirt that just says "free hugs," and that way, you can get people to come up. But the thing I was going to mention before is, do you think? I know in my lifetime I have seen the word love in particular, but other forms of being used incorrectly. Not incorrectly, but kind of misused, used too often, whatever you want to call it. I have a feeling, and I have data to support this, because the younger people are nowadays, right? They're growing up in a newer and newer generation, so to speak, because it's so difficult to have face-to-face interactions with people. It's much harder now than it used to be. That fella that you met that was born in the 60s, he grew up in a time where if you wanted to have social interaction, you had to physically go to somebody, right? You had to go to a group, a party, whatever the case may be. Now, because there's so much digital interaction, people aren't used to it to the extent of being able to be fully functional in a true relationship. So they think that being in a digital relationship is the same thing as being in a relationship with the girl next door. So this makes them very awkward when it comes to face-to-face conversations. So in that, I think it's when you're digital and you're safe, because you can always just turn the program off, however you're interacting, because you're safe at that point. you will say some ridiculous stuff right away. More so than you would if you were face to face. And so you got like a teenager starting out, getting digital relationships going on. I've got a girlfriend in Canada. You don't know her. Used to be the old story. Now it's, I have a girlfriend, but she's online. And then when you get a significant other that's local, you just don't know how to act. So you just immediately jump in to, I love you. We're going to get married someday. Like this. And you're just like jumping in because you still have the mindset of what it was when you had the safety of being able to turn whatever device it is off. So now that you're in this, it seems like it's much harder to approach people. You can't just walk across the bar, or you used to not. Now I can, of course, because I'm old and people let me get away with it.
I won't. No, wrong place to meet a woman. Bar.
Well, I'm just saying, whatever social environment, I don't care. But used to, you just walked up, you'd be like, "Hey, I'm so and so," and you just had a conversation. Now they people react as if you're assaulting them in some way, and then they feel like, did I do something wrong? And it totally misfires all these things that go on. And now somebody's scared to use the word. And they may actually love the person, but then now that they're afraid to use it because they've had negative interactions on that regard before. So it really does seem like a snowballing effect of the more people misuse the word, the more people are less likely to use it, and the more they're going to misuse it when they think it's time to use it. So, it just snowballs into this. And what? You're like, well, you're still a kid, but you're not a kid anymore, so to speak. But even you are like, well, wait a minute. Isn't respect and honor and integrity with this? Doesn't that mean I love them? Well, it's a lot more complicated than simple. Everything is more complicated than a simple yes or no question. But like this is one where, depending on how hard you mean it, it could mean not very much, and it could mean everything to a person. So it is something you got to be really careful with. You don't want to tell a lady you love her unless you're reading the room.
You can turn the camera off if you want to, Greg.
Oh, good. Get somebody else.
Gregory.
Hey, what's up, Eddie? What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Doing all right, Gregory. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
So, I got to say hi to some people in chat. Kraken, how you doing? Miss Liability, how you doing? Dana, how you doing?
I'll give you permission.
So,
and if I
somebody's got something playing in the background.
No, it was by accident.
Okay. All right. How's your mom doing, Gregory?
Mom is doing good. I found out my mom had a head injury 3 years ago. I didn't even know that. I forgot about it. Mom has been having headaches lately, and the doctor is going to check to see if she have a brain tumor or bruise in the brain. Sometimes it could be memory loss too. It's happened to my cousin. My cousin is in the home. She had a tumor going on her brain and a bruise. She didn't take the medications. She had a stroke. Now she can speak, and she cannot. She cannot talk at all. My cousin, and my mom is very concerned.
Yep. At least you know what's going on, Gregory.
Oh yes. Thank God I'm not working right now. Oh my God, it's kind of stressful sometimes.
Yep.
But the Lord helps me out. The man's upstairs helps me.
It's all that matters. So
that's okay, Airport. I have the Lord upstairs with me. I got people YouTube help me.
So I was going to say this earlier. I have been doing a lot better since I took a time away from social media. But today, I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. I probably don't want to know what happened. I hope it was natural causes, but somebody I have known for over 10 years is no longer here. And he was young. He was young. He was very young. He was born, I'll tell you. So, it's like he was born in 96. He was born in 96.
That's young.
Yeah.
Too young.
Yep. I don't know what happened.
That's the same age as my oldest son.
Yep. I don't know what happened. And I'm not going to ask because I really don't want to know. Because like I got no clue like how it happened. But it just I met him 10 plus years ago. And it's just wild at such a young age. I just hope it wasn't mental health related. I just hope he wasn't depressed and went that route. I just hope it was an accident. But too many young people today are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Going that route. That's the reason why I want to get my hands on a GoPro. And put it on my chest. And just walk around talking to people. Just walk around talking to people.
They have some really good body cams for civilians, and they're just like the police use. I mean, they're $150, $200, but like you put them on, and they have decent audio for what they are, and they record up to 12 hours at a time, so you can record your whole day. And then, of course, because you're still going to be getting them in the face because, everybody's nipple height for you. So you go out there and you do the stuff and you can go back and edit it, get out the boring stuff and edit whatever parts you need out. And some of them you can you're able to attach decent microphones to them. So you can literally hand them one and you have one on your collar as well or whatever. That way you can have good quality audio while you're discussing whatever you're discussing. So there's some pretty good ones on Amazon. I'll show you later if you want.
Yeah. So, but that's what I heard today. So, it was just on my news feed on Facebook. So when I saw it, it was just sweaty. How you doing? It was just wow. Like I saw him before I moved up here a few months ago. We were conversating. He was doing good. He was doing real good. You know, I know his whole family. His brothers, his dad, his mom. You know, I'm just hoping it was, you know.
You know, one of the things about that bothers me in particular is, you know, I like, you know, my story, maybe not everybody, but, you know, I immediately, as soon as I got out of high school, joined the fire department, cop after that, all that good stuff. You see a lot of accidents, right? Whether it's car accidents, fires, whatever. And you realize, you know, some people I went to school with, all this kind of stuff, you realize accidents happen and things happen and, you know, disease, whatever, all these things that there's so many things that can take you out in life that you don't have any control over whatsoever.
Nope.
But when it's something like that, you always think to yourself, was there something I could have done? You know?
Yep.
And you don't want to get callous to it, but at the same time, it is part of life that some people don't make it to the finish line. So you don't want to get callous to it, but you do want to be aware. But if you're thinking about that, there is one thing to take into account is all the people that are going to be affected by this, because most of them are going to think, is there something I could have done differently? You know, so
yep.
To have avoided this decision this person made. And when that happens, you know, it doesn't matter how it happens. I mean, it could be simply a car accident and I wasn't able to get there in time. And maybe if I'd have got there sooner, you question yourself even on those things. But when it's something like that, it is so unfair. Like, I know most of those people thinking life is being unfair right now and all this kind of stuff, but it is absolutely unfair to everyone else.
Yep.
That you leave behind, because you're going to question, because you can't get any closure on whether or not you could have done something different. That little nagging voice in the back of your head is always going to be there. And that's so unfair to the people that don't, like, you don't have to deal with it anymore. They're the ones going to have to deal with it. So, like, it is one of those things, like, you don't want to, like, be mad at those people because their situation was obviously bad. But at the same time, that is a not very nice thing to do to the other people as well.
Yep.
It's kind of one of those components of that whole scenario. And as, you know, a veteran, I'm well aware of it. So it's one of those components that aren't talked about much because we're trying to, you know, talk to the people that are considering this type of thing. But the thing to consider, if you are a caring person, especially, what is it going to do to the people that are left behind?
Yep. What's up, Quick Vic? How you doing?
And as much as, like, my generation and furthers were told it's a burden, one of the things that will stop you the very most is having kids, because you want to be there for them as long as you can.
Yep.
Like, having a kid is an investment in the future. So having that, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't be here, but I'm saying, like, that is definitely one of the factors that have kept me around.
Yep. You know, I look out for people I talk to, at least try to. You know, sometimes, you know, lately, because I took a break from, you know, YouTube, being on panels, being in Discord, calling people, like, I had to find me for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So what I did is I watched custom school buses, schoolies. I went on Marketplace, researched and looked for schoolies because I want to buy one. I want to buy a school bus and I want to convert it into a house on wheels and I want to travel. So
doesn't that require, since it's you, and this is just me loving you because I do, aren't you required to get a short bus? I'm just saying.
Oh, you're funny, Ro. Oh, oh,
Sorry, had to do it.
So now I want to get a school bus. I want to raise the roof. I want to put, what I want to do is in the front of the bus, I'm going to have, like, you know how people have the entrance where the door is originally?
Yeah.
You know, the way I'm going to set it up, and I already have it pictured. The door is going to be in the middle of the bus. Okay. And the reason why I'm going to do that is I'm going to have a bedroom on one side of the bus, a bed on one side of the bus, a bed on the other side of the bus. So my bed would go towards the front of the bus, and then I'm going to have the kitchen and the bathroom. So, because my mom wants to hit the road too.
They do have, most buses have a center door in the back.
In the very back, yes. Like if you're looking at the side of the bus, you're looking at the side of it, and you have the steps that go in. I'm going to eliminate that door, and I'm going to move the door.
Well, they do have, if you can get your hands on an old city bus, a lot of them have an entry in the middle on the side.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I want to drive to different cities and states. Like if
Sure.
I met, like if me and you were talking, right? And I said, hey, I'm going to be in your state. You want to meet up and cam up and do an interview? You know what I'm saying?
Sure, that's what I've been talking about. I told you, like, but at the end of this year, my buddy finishes his house. He's going to sell me his RV really cheap. I'm going to do that anyway, just because I got to travel this whole country. But I was truck driving, so I never really had time to hang out too much in different areas.
Yep.
As much as I wanted to.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm already planning on doing that by next year. So, yeah, it's definitely. I think because here's one of the things, like wherever you live, I don't care where you live in the country, that's fine. On the planet, doesn't matter. Wherever you live, there's only a certain amount of opinions and a certain amount of interaction you're going to have, because every community is its own little micro society. And the whole concept of being able to go down to Florida where you are and hanging out and talking to those people is going to be a different experience than, say, going to New Hampshire where you were, or going to Seattle or LA or whatever. Although I would never suggest going to California, period. But
Lizzie, like, how you doing?
All that stuff is like the way, because here's the thing, when you have grown up in an area and never left the area, you really only think kind of one way. You might pick up stuff on the internet and all that's fine, but when it comes down to it, you don't. But when you get to go somewhere else, you can get someone else's straight face to face interaction with somebody, and they're much different than they are, like, say, even in a Zoom meeting like this or whatever. Like, it's going to be a totally different thing when you have their body language, everything right in front of you to tell you what they're feeling, what they're saying. And they may have a totally different outlook because, I don't know, maybe they grew up around wolves and they have slightly more situational awareness than somebody that lives in a city. So, like, there's going to be a different viewpoint on just about any topic whatsoever if you move around.
Yep. I totally agree.
Yeah. Plus, as Sweaty says, there's just a scenery aspect of it too. Is that you can go places where they have different biomes. You may live in Florida where it's basically, the nutsack of hell because it's so hot, where you go somewhere where there's lots of snow, So, I mean, you're going to have because my people love the snow. Neanderthals didn't die out, people. They just slept their way into society. We're all a little bit Neanderthal, and we love the snow.
I hate the snow.
Yeah, well, you know, your bloodline adapted at some point, and you don't. But I don't like it. Anything under 65, anything over 65 is hell. So, you know. But
Yeah.
you know what? That's another thing. If you go somewhere where it never is not snow on the ground, those people are going to have a different outlook in life completely about a lot of different things, including mental health, because their life has always been trying to keep warm, you know, whereas down in Florida, people have just tried not to melt, you know.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, right? And
besides you,
this is a known fact. 90, well, I can't say 90%, but 90% of the people I have come across since I have moved back to Florida are not from Florida. They're from Michigan. They're from Ohio. They're from New York. They're from Pennsylvania. They're from other states that have snow. Angel,
yeah.
how you doing? So, go Eagles, right, Angel?
Oh, you're talking about sports ball.
Yeah. So he's from Pennsylvania.
But yeah, you're right. It is kind of one of those things. Like there are people moving all the time from everywhere to everywhere, but the concept is people who grew up in an area. If you got 100 people and you ask them all the same question, if they all grew up in that area, they're all going to have very similar answers.
Yeah.
You know, which if you live in a city, that's different. Not a lot of people move to a new state into a rural area. Most people that move to a new state go near or in a city. You know, so,
Yep.
you know, and you got the occasional farmer that decides to relocate to another state or whatever. That's fine. But for the vast majority of people that move to a new state are moving towards a populated area. And because something aligns better for them, the money's better, whatever the case may be. But when they go there, they think, oh, it's so weird down here. And they don't realize it's because the vast majority of the people that grew up there all kind of think the same way. That's why I think traveling is about the only way to really broaden your horizons on just certain things. That if there's something in your life that's controversial and you just don't know how to handle it, maybe it's not a common problem where you are. And if you go somewhere else, maybe they've handled it a little differently or better or worse or whatever. And you can get a different perspective on it. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep. Michelle Johnson, how you doing? I totally agree. Totally agree.
Now, for me, it's about going around the country and finding out what hobbits are like in different places, but that's just because I'm a weirdo.
So, I learned some things today talking to you, Ro. Thank you for your input.
Well,
so
if you can get past the sarcasm and smartassness, I do have a nugget once in a while.
Yep. So this is where it's towards the end of my live.
Well, I'm going to say,
yeah.
if you ever think I'm right, just remember a broken clock is right twice a day. Just saying.
Everybody, thank you for being here.
All right. So you close it out. I'm going to go ahead and get down here so I can turn my mic off.
All right.
All right. See you guys later.
Later, Ro. Everybody, thank you for being here. Love you guys. You guys are amazing. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm thinking I'm at AIM. Actually, no, because I have the NA meeting I'm going to go to tomorrow night at 7 to 8. So Wednesday, 4:30. I'll let you know how it went. I'll let you know. But until then, I will see you Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, everybody, just know you are not alone. Okay? If I want you to read this. If you're missing somebody, call them. You want to meet up, invite them. Want to be understood, explain. Have a question, ask. Don't like something, fix it. Like something, state it. Want something, work for it. Love someone, tell them. Keep life simple. With that being said, All Things Serious is out, my friends.